Jawan Evans and Jeffrey Carroll combined for 35 points per game. That's the highest scoring tandem in the Big 12. Forte, the veteran sharpshooter, along with Hammonds and Solomon, rounding out the Cowboys starting five. All five Kansas State starters average at least 10 points per game. Kamau Stokes, the point guard, their leading scorer in league play at almost 14 points per. Dean Wade and Mitchell Solomon to jump. Officials in the game: Rick Crawford, Patrick Adams, and Darren George. Oklahoma State controls, working right to left.
Both teams will play a lot of pressure man-man. Kansas State will do a lot of switching with that versatility on the perimeter.
Here's Evans, reigning Big 12 Freshman of the Year. He'll launch a three, and a good early shine for Oklahoma State.
Rhythm offense. Oklahoma State changing sides of the floor. Look for them to have a lot of balance. Look to run. Kansas State, 5 guys in double figures.
Stokes directing traffic. Swing pass. That's Barry Brown, the sophomore from St. Petersburg, Florida. Gets a screen from big DJ Johnson. Lost the ball. Brown gets it back. Takes it strong to the bucket for 2.
Good hustle play by Mitchell Solomon, but if you're going to save it, throw it down the floor. Early air for Oklahoma State.
Forte out of control. Out of bounds to Kansas State.
Oh, Brad Underwood's like, what happened? Phil Forte got flat tripped right in front of the rim and no call.
Underwood, a Kansas State alum, played for the legendary Jack Hartman, was an assistant coach at K-State, and is 1 win away from career win number 100. Off the turnover, Evans to Carroll.
That is the extra pass. I thought Oak State was getting a little too cute, but Solomon with the deft touch playing the middle in transition.
Easy layup that time for Kamau Stokes.
Well, Anish, that's what you have to do to break Oklahoma State's pressure. You have to spread the floor and then be strong with the ball and go all the way to the rim, be ready to drive and kick.
Three-pointer goes for Leighton Hammonds, who had missed his previous 13 from downtown.
Now that is a good sign for Oklahoma State. If they can get Hammonds in double figures, gives them an extra score on the perimeter along with Forte, Evans, and Carroll.
K-State has struggled to defend the three in league play as Dean Wade drives to the basket. DJ Johnson on the putback. He leads the Big 12 in field goal percentage.
Well, that's been an issue for Oklahoma State as well. Both these teams not good rebounding teams in the league.
Foul before the shot as Evans took it strong to the basket. It's on Stokes, his first. Bruce Weber in his 5th season as K-State's head coach. We talked to him today, and he spoke about how this team has been drained emotionally by so many close losses, Tim.
Well, they have, but I think he likes this basketball team. And anytime you have a good balanced team, you don't have to rely on one person every night. I think this team is built for the long haul.
Here comes Wesley Owundu. And he is fouled going strong to the basket.
Well, that's what makes Oklahoma State their job so difficult, because Kansas State has a lot of ball handlers and they don't run a numbered break. And even though Stokes and Brown will be at the guard spot, Owundu will take the ball in the middle of the floor as well. And you see his talent and his ability to put the ball on the deck and get all the way to the rim.
Free throw disparity has been an issue for the Cowboys. Over the weekend in the loss to Kansas, the Jayhawks shot 45 free throws.
Well, their opponents in league have been attempting 30 per game, and their opponents have made more than even Oklahoma State have attempted in the league. So that is an issue. Oklahoma State wants to continue to pressure, but they have to back off a little bit because the fouls are being called.
Kansas attempted 31 more free throws than Oak State over the weekend. Johnson all over Hammonds. It's stolen by Stokes. Next field goal for Owundu would give him 1,000 career points. Passes out of the double team. Stokes for 3. Way off. He gets his own rebound.
A good matchup on the perimeter. A 1-2.
Great position by Johnson. And he goes to work on Solomon.
Oh, nice job by DJ Johnson. Just buried Solomon inside. Solomon's got to try to get around him. If he plays that far behind him, he's going to be in big trouble.
Skip pass to Forte. Hammonds hit 1-3. Gets the bounce again. He prayed to the basketball gods before this game.
Gallagher, I'm a bounce. A little Eddie Sutton touch.
Here comes Stokes down the lane, off balance. And a whistle.
Well, this is what Brad Underwood needs. Just another perimeter scorer. You know, Hammonds has done a nice job all year defensively, but inconsistent from the perimeter. Confident early tonight.
The foul was on Evans, his first, second to team foul. Stokes at the free throw line, a sophomore. He missed the last 12 games of last season, and you had a Kansas State team that was right there on the bubble, and then without Stokes, they lost 8 of their final 12.
There's no doubt about it. You know, he has become more of a leader for Bruce Weber. Straight two-guard scorer coming out of high school, and still has that scoring mentality, but doing a better job handling the ball, leading the team down the stretch, decision-making, assist-to-turnover ratio much improved.
Substitutions. Stokes to the bench. Corby Irvin, an Oklahoma City native, checks in for Kansas State.
Bruce Weber talked about Irvin and his excitement about coming home tonight, and we'll see if he's a little too excited, but he's an important player. Bruce trying to trust his bench a little bit more.
How about Lucas Gasson, a 7-footer from the Netherlands?
Oh, nice catch by the big fella, and footwork to finish.
That's stolen away by Oklahoma State. K-State gets it back. Isaiah Maurice, the redshirt freshman from Durham. And Maurice off the nice feed from Irvin.
Well, that's what Kansas State does. They space the floor and have a great awareness of where each other are on the floor. And that time Oklahoma State did not rotate on the backside.
Already a high-scoring affair. Buckle up. Three-pointer no good. Maurice the rebound.
Brad Underwood going deep into his bench early.
And a foul on the floor with 15-13 to go.
They are who they are. They're very balanced. And I think that's a good thing. And it's hard to scout. I think that's going to carry them a long way. Going through a little bit of a difficult stretch right now. But I think this team, as they mature through the Big 12, will be there at the end.
Dean Wade launches a three, and Lindy Waters skies for the rebound.
Wade had a rough game against Baylor, but he's been very good all season long. Had the big game against Kansas.
All 5 players on the floor for Oklahoma State right now, backups. Waters from the elbow. Maurice has it poked away by Dillard, and it'll be Kansas State ball.
Waters has been important for Oklahoma State. He missed the games with the concussion syndrome, and he came back in the game against Kansas. And look for him to get some more minutes today. He's a versatile wing player who can make shots.
Here's Irvin, and one for the Oklahoma City native. And Corby Irvin to the free throw line.
Again, when you prepare for Oklahoma State, this is what you have to do. You have to be aggressive with the basketball, because the floodgates will open if you can break that first wave of defense on the perimeter. They really get out in you. They overplay on the perimeter, and once you catch the ball, they're going to get right up in your shorts. So you have to be strong with the ball, but if you do take it to the rim, you will have opportunity.
Both of these teams have struggled in conference play defensively, and to your point, Tim, for Oklahoma State, they thrive so much on forcing turnovers, getting into passing lanes. They have not been able to do that with the same effectiveness in league play, and that's led to a lot of easy baskets.
It has, and it's also, as we said, a parade to the free throw line, and they have to make some adjustments.
Waters no good. Rebound to Maurice. Here's Dean Wade. And that will stay with Kansas State, it appears.
Wade has that ability to put the ball on the floor, but he's got to be careful of the driving loose passes on the perimeter against Oklahoma State's pressure.
Now they love his upside. They just want to see Wade be more aggressive.
He can make shots, and he's very good in the high-low. Bruce Weber has put him in a good position. He comes down as a trailer, then they space the floor, and they try to go high-low with Wade as a shooter and a good passer from the top.
Down low to Maurice. Trapped. Finds Wade. Over Hammonds for two. All five starters back on the floor for Oklahoma State. It's a 7-0 run for the Wildcats.
You see Wade's multiple skill level. Good pass, and then the finish over the top.
Five to shoot. Carroll, no good. And the rebound to Wade.
That was a pretty good move by Carroll. Thought he got bumped on the baseline.
Open three, Xavier Sneed, and a foul underneath. And it goes against Maurice. Big Ten ACC doubleheader for you tomorrow on ESPN at 7. 25th ranked Maryland in Iowa City to take on the Hawkeyes. Melo Trimble, Peter Jock, great guard matchup. Terps looking for a fourth straight win. Clemson looks to snap a 4-game losing streak. Tigers in Louisville. The Cards playing their first game without Quentin Snyder, their point guard, out 2 to 3 weeks with a hip flexor.
And that Maryland-Iowa game for sure will be high-powered offense. Peter Jock for Fam McCaffrey just having a great year.
Both of these teams have had their struggles on defense in conference play. The score reflects that, as Irvin is called for a foul. Jawan Evans to the free throw line. Sophomore out of Dallas. Correction, foul on DJ Johnson.
Oklahoma State, Anish, has made some adjustments in the last couple weeks with their offense, and you saw it a little bit against Kansas over the weekend. Beginning of the year, they had Phil Forte and Juwan Evans on the same side of the floor. Now they're trying to space the floor and put Forte a little opposite, give Evans a little bit more room and space, and then if the help comes, he has the ability to dish it on the opposite side to Forte.
Both free throws good for Evans. Here's the press by Oklahoma State, broken easily by the Wildcats. Terrific pass, Irvin to Johnson.
That is just beautiful ball movement, spacing, aggressive play against the press.
Here comes Evans off the window. Carroll on the offensive glass, follows his shot. Second effort is there.
Hard-nosed Jeffrey Carroll finding ways to get it done.
Only player in the Big 12 averaging better than 15 points and 7 rebounds per game. It will stay with K-State.
Now here's how you have to attack the press. You cannot be weak. You must get the ball up the court, keep flying down the weak side, and make that extra pass before the backside of the press recovers.
Points in the paint. Kansas State getting a lot of easy shots down there. Here's Sneed. And the tip-in is there by Johnson, who's been active early.
That's a problem for Oklahoma State. They're doing a pretty good job with their first set on defense, but finishing the playoff with the rebound has been a problem.
Leighton Hammonds had missed 13 straight threes entering the game. He's hit 3 in the first 8 minutes. Here's Brown down the lane, and he gets it to drop.
Again, no help on the backside, and Oklahoma State continues to get beat off the bounce, hanging in only because of Hammonds on the perimeter.
Evans to the basket and a foul. And you can't do that. Irvin
must control.
And that's something Bruce Weber told us. He wants to see this team play with more emotion, as Phil Forte, one of the best free throw shooters in all of college basketball, will attempt the technical. Forte, a 96% free throw shooter.
Well, I think normally the referee would have let that go, but the ball bounced so high in the air. I don't think he was even that upset with the call. I think he was just upset with himself. And it happens. Highly competitive nights. Bruce is shaking his head over there, and he said, wait a minute, I got a technical at the end of the Texas Tech game. I'm still shaking my head on how I got that one, but things have not gone K-State's way as of late in the last couple weeks.
So now Evans will shoot the 2 free throws off the personal foul. And we mentioned Jawan Evans, who's been struggling with his shot, less than 30% from the field in conference play. Well, tonight he's taking the ball to the basket.
He has. I think he's healthy. He's been banged up a little bit. Brad Underwood talked about it. Some leg issues, some shoulder issues, and he plays hurt. There's no doubt about it. He had the shoulder situation last year, and he is a tough young man, and plays with a lot of emotion, and he's a great leader. And Brad Underwood just smiles when he talks about him, and it's okay. He's been in a slump. He believes in him, and now that he's a little more healthy, you can see he's got more of a bounce in his step.
Wonder has it taken away by Evans, and Jawan Evans finishes at the other end. That's a goaltend on Sneed.
It's a goaltend, but it's also a great sign. Not that Evans making shots, that he is so explosive, especially on the defensive end of the floor. He and Forte can really cause a lot of havoc, and we haven't even seen much of Carroll. If he gets going, Oklahoma State can really explode.
A 6-0 run since the technical foul on Irvin. Owundo goes to work on Carroll. In traffic, turns it over.
Nowhere to go, but Oklahoma State, better job rotating on the drive on the baseline.
Forte gets the screen from Hammonds, gets it back, way short. Here's Sneed.
Well, not a good decision that time by Hammonds. Sneed is right up in his face.
A lob from Brown to Sneed, not there. Here come the Cowboys. Evans, he's got 11.
As we all know, what the Big 12 brings every night. So if you can be good, but if you're not really good, you're going to get beat. And that's been Oklahoma State's issues. They've been pretty good, but not good enough. And I think it's really hangs on Evans' health. If he's fully healthy, a healthy Jawan Evans, you can see what he brings. He just can wreak havoc on a game, which he's doing tonight.
Brown from the corner hits the 3 to stop an 8-0 Cowboy run.
Oh, Barry Brown, just degree of difficulty with a hand in his face, spotted up with confidence.
Evans at the other end, too strong. Offensive rebound. Carroll, he has it knocked away. It's back to Hammonds. Hammonds with 11 in the first half.
Pesky, aggressive, on fire. Oklahoma State causing problems with their defense.
Here's Wade. Kicks it out to Brown. 3 from the wing. Too strong. And the rebound pulled down by Leighton Hammonds.
That was a good look by Dean Wade and a driving kick, because Oklahoma State now is converging on the basketball as it's penetrated into the lane. They're going to have to knock down some shots.
Carroll from the outside. Cowboys 5 of 9 from downtown. They've got their largest lead of the night.
How smooth is Jeffrey Carroll? If you get up on him, he drives. If you lay off, he knocks it in.
Stokes unable to stop the run. The rebound snared by Cameron McGriff, the freshman. Kansas State has had some trouble defending the 3. Big 12 opponents shooting 43% from downtown against the Wildcats. And go figure, Oklahoma State's best 3-point shooter, Phil Forte, has not even attempted a field goal. Here comes Owundo. Bounce pass. Stokes, the reverse layup there.
Ooh, that was sweet by Stokes, and a nice opportunity by K-State. Took advantage. Oklahoma State did not run back.
Both teams shooting better than 50% from the field. As we come up on 8 minutes to play in the half, Carroll gets the bounce off the great feed from Evans.
Between the legs. It's all going right for the Cowboys.
Stokes nearly lost it. Looking for help. Oklahoma State 6 out of 10 from downtown.
That's what happens though sometimes. Kansas State, when you play against this pressure, you tend to run to the ball. It's not great spacing, but just a nice one-on-one move by Awando.
Milestone basket for Awando. He becomes the 27th Kansas State player.
A few different occasions tonight, and after West Virginia seemingly had control of the game late in the second half, just a late run, and Woodard with the toughness at the end of regulation and overtime.
Oklahoma State 6 out of 10 from beyond the arc. Evans, Hammonds, and Carroll have been the catalysts offensively. All three in double figures. Brad Underwood going to some of his subs. 5 to shoot. Weaving through traffic. And they'll say Davon Dillard got tied up. Possession arrow, Kansas State. NBA Friday, a doubleheader. It all begins with Golden State and Houston, two of the top 3 teams in the West. James Harden, 13 double-doubles, had a double or triple doubles. Had one on Monday against Miami. DJ Johnson unable to connect. Pacers, Lakers, the late game Friday.
Well, there's no time to talk about promos in this game, Anish, because the ball is flying up and down the floor. And
way to break down that fourth wall.
Both teams are 1-2 passes, and away we go.
Forte with a nice feed. Dillard unable to connect. And they get Dillard with the foul, his second. 15th foul. Davon Dillard was in the doghouse for a while. Played a career-high 20 minutes against Kansas over the weekend and was very effective. 6 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, and he has worked his way back into Brad Underwood's circle of trust.
Well, a good athlete coming in off the bench, can play a couple different positions, but more importantly, defensively gives him that toughness on the perimeter guard to guard guys like Wesley Awando.
Stokes finds Brown cutting to the basket for 2.
Well, again, we've spoken about it. Kansas State had some issues early part of this, middle part of this first half of driving, and they were a little tight, but now they're spacing the floor a little bit better, allowing open lanes to the rim.
There's Brandon Averett, the freshman. Now Cameron McGriff, also a freshman. Averett off the handoff from Solomon. 5 to shoot. Forte down the lane, past Johnson. And the rebound snagged by Stokes.
Good defense by K-State on that possession, closing the door on Forte.
And a blocking foul called on Oklahoma State. It's on McGriff, his first.
Well, this game is not for the weak of heart, because when you drive to the rim, there is going to be resistance on both ends. And when you look at Cam McGriff, Brad Underwood calls him just a guy that will run through a wall. Sometimes he has to settle him down. He's so hyped up, even in practice.
He was a big-time recruit, 4-star recruit out of Texas, top 10 prospect in the state. And he's been battling a nagging knee injury. Awando is senior, and you know, we've had a chance to watch him a few times over the years, and what you like about his game, he does not have to be a scorer to impact the game. He does so many things for Bruce Weber. Evans gets the basket and the foul. Now, he has been the aggressor in this first half.
If I didn't know better, I would say this looked like Chris Paul, a little whoop and lip and thank you at the rim. Just a shake and bake. in traffic.
The foul on Maurice, his second 15th foul, and Evans, who we mentioned had been struggling in league play, 13 points in this first half, make it 14.
I think he's healthy. I think that's the big difference. And you know, they don't want to use that as an excuse, but you see just a huge difference in his ability to explode off the dribble, his confidence level to go get a basket.
Wonder spinning, lost it. Here comes Evans, accelerates up court, kicks to the corner. Carroll hits again, his third three.
A textbook on how to run a fast break as a great lead guard. Head up, push, push, push. Draw the D, dish it to him. Carroll in the corner.
That's the third time he's hit a three from that corner. Owundu, baseline jumper, Maurice, and he gets it over Solomon.
Well, first, this is real good defense by Oklahoma State. Just aggressive, and Solomon making big plays at the rim, presenting resistance. But you see, Evans head up the whole time. He knew the defense was going to come and attack. And, of course, his partner in crime in the corner.
14 points, 5 assists for Evans. And the stat that Brad Underwood probably likes the most, 0 turnovers. Here's Evans again.
Also not in foul trouble, and that's been an issue for Juwan Evans as well. And their losses to Iowa State and Baylor spent a lot of time on the bench.
Solomon turned it over. What do you think wins this, Tim? 90, 95?
At least at this pace. Both teams are very good offensively, you could see, and they share the ball and have a lot of options.
And both teams have had their struggles defensively, and that's been on display in this first half as well, as Snead knocks down the three. Here's Carroll down the lane, and he'll shoot 2. 6th team foul on Kansas State.
Jeffrey Carroll just has such a nice pace to his game this year. Ever improved, as we've all spoken about. You just look at the numbers, but how has he improved? Just, he's got a complete game. If you come up on top of him and close out hard, out of control, he will take it off the dribble with either hand and can finish in traffic.
He is, I would say, a slam dunk for most improved player in the Big 12. He might be the most improved player in all of Division I.
I mean, he just has stepped into this role and really flourished in playing with Juwan Evans, playing with Phil Forte. And, you know, this Oklahoma State team, they have veterans, but they haven't all played together. And I still think this is going to be a team to reckon with moving forward. You could just see with Juwan Evans healthy and what Carroll brings, and we haven't even seen much of Forte today, but they have a deep bench with all the freshmen as they grow and understand how to play this defense too without fouling. That's so important as they grow and move in Brad Underwood's system.
And they got a foul on Juwan Evans, and that is his second, 7th team foul on Oklahoma State. So Kansas State in the bonus, and the Wildcats to the line for a 1-and-1. Now, you mentioned the foul trouble. That's been the bugaboo of late for Evans.
They kind of got tangled up there. I'm not sure that Dean Wade wasn't involved in that mix either. It looked like the officials could have passed on that one.
Front end of the 1-and-1, good by Stokes. Brad Underwood fired up. Now, this is an emotional game for him too, facing his alma mater. The last couple of years with Kansas State struggling, there was a lot of chatter in the Little Apple of whether Bruce Weber would be sticking around, and the name you heard all the time was Brad Underwood, and there was a little bit of furor when Underwood was signed away to Oklahoma State and Bruce Weber stayed on, as we have another foul down low. Now all that comes from the fan base. Foul is on Maurice, his third. But you look at what Underwood has done. 89 wins in 3 seasons at Stephen F. Austin. That's a flashback from his days at K-State when he played for Jack Hartman. Served as an assistant coach with the Wildcats under Bob Huggins and Frank Martin. Actually followed Martin to South Carolina for a season, which made him the second most famous Underwood in South Carolina behind Frank.
Those guys could protect Tom Brady this weekend. There's no doubt about it. They look tough. That's some toughness right there.
That's a boys are backing down. Boys are back in town pick.
I think Bill Belichick would like to have those 3 against the Steelers. Well, he is an excellent basketball coach. He's fun to be around and talk hoops with. And he's invigorated this program already, and he likes this team, and he understands it is a work in progress. First year trying to implement a new system, but they're very, very close.
Wild shot by Brown. He turns it over. Here comes Brandon Averett. McGriff in the high post. Johnson plays off him. He gets it back from Lindy Waters. Wild shot not there. The rebound, it's a Wade. And a foul on the floor before Stokes shot it.
And the pressure. These 2 teams going up and down. Iowa State's got the great guards. They'll shoot the threes and play fast break basketball, but everyone, the results are the same. The games are most likely going to be in the 80s.
Front end of the 1-and-1 by Stokes is good, and what's the one common thread? They're so good offensively because so many of these teams have great point guards.
No doubt about it. And multiple guards, multiple ball handlers. The game has changed over the years. I mean, even Bill Self has adjusted. He used to be a power, high-low offense guy, and because of personnel situations, he's had to go more of a small ball, 4 guards, 4 perimeter players. So that's kind of the trend in today's game. 4 or 5 out on the perimeter, attack, driving kick, get to the rim.
Averett has a mismatch with Wade guarding him, drives right by him, and spins out. Stokes, Brown the other way, and the 2-handed flush.
Kansas State is not to be denied. You cannot relax on them because they will take bad shots, miss shots, and attack. 5 to the rim.
McGriff for 3. Got it! Cameron McGriff with his 6th three-pointer of the season.
He is a good-looking freshman playing with a lot of confidence. Usually puts the ball on the floor trying to get to the rim. That time, he looked like Jeffrey Carroll from the perimeter.
Oklahoma State 8 out of 12 from deep. Brown, the wild layup, not there. Here comes Averett driving on Wade. McGriff from inside 15, too strong.
A little too quick by McGriff. He should have looked for Carroll in the corner.
Stokes to the basket. Johnson the offensive rebound, and he's tied up. Big 12 in the RPI. 4 teams in the top 25. Some may be surprised to see TCU as high as they are. Jamie Dixon's done a pretty good job in his first season back at his alma mater.
Well, there's no doubt about it. This league has the depth again, and TCU got beat tonight against Texas Tech. Texas Tech's another team that you have to reckon with. And a very good basketball team. A lot of depth, a lot of experience, and you can't count anyone out because you look at these teams and you see the talent level, and there's going to be multiple opportunities. Everyone kind of says, well, I have to go through this stretch now, but everyone's going through tough stretches because this league is so tough and so deep. You just look at Texas Tech from a year ago. They started 2-6, ended up in the NCAA tournament.
Both free throws good for DJ Johnson, who's coming off a 20-point game. He's got 10 tonight. 2-point Cowboy lead in what has been a gas pedal first half. Hammonds has hit 3 threes. So is Carroll. Carroll down the lane. And they've got a foul going the other way. Thursday on ESPN, Maryland and Iowa in the Big Ten. Terps looking for a fourth straight win. It's Clemson and Louisville in the late game. Cardinals playing without Quentin Snyder, their point guard, out 2 to 3 weeks with a hip injury. Foul was on Carroll, his first, because it was an offensive foul. No free throws for Kansas State. But the Wildcats now in the double bonus. Stokes, the teardrop is there, and we're tied at 49 with less than a minute and a half to go in this first half.
You see Stokes' ability to score, and that's what he is. He is a flat scorer as a point guard.
Hammond's three does not fall. Here comes Brown. Back to Stokes. Stutter step. Pulls up. Short. And the loose ball to Hammonds off his foot to Forte. Forte has been quiet. Just one field goal attempt. And 2 points in this first half. Jawan Evans on the bench with 2 fouls for Oklahoma State. Forte, shot fake. Lines up the three. He is shooting it at almost 49% from 3 in Big 12 play.
That's what makes Phil Forte so difficult to defend, because you might close out on him, but you've got to get really close to him, even if he gets deeper, and that time with a nice shot fake.
3-second differential between game clock and shot clock. Stokes kicks to Brown. He lines up the 3. And a foul down low on Hammond
as well. And Oklahoma State gave them all they wanted over the weekend, but they continue just to show that they are the premier club in this league, especially with West Virginia losing tonight at home.
And every year we ask the same question. Can somebody dethrone Kansas in the regular season in the Big 12? And Bill Self, time and time again, has his team at the top of the Big 12 standings at the conclusion of the regular season.
Well, the problem for the other teams in this league is nobody can get to an Allen Fieldhouse. And until someone does, the trophy will still reside in Bill Self's office.
Final seconds of this first half. Averett zooming up the court. And a foul with 0.7 of a second left. Oklahoma State in the bonus. Foul is on Xavier Sneed, his second. So a 1-and-1 for the Cowboys in the final second of this first half.
Brandon Averett, they just couldn't slow him down. I thought he might have been a touch out of control, but they just never pushed him sideline, and he was going north-south, and they reached in at the wrong time.
He's given Brad Underwood some good minutes with Jawan Evans on the bench with 2 fouls. Averett was the first signee of the Underwood era. Freshman out of Richardson, Texas.
He's giving him some nice minutes as the backup point guard, and still at times a little out of control, turns it over too much, but you just see that speed. He will really flourish in this up-tempo system.
Both free throws good. 54-51 with 0.7 of a second left in this first half.
Well, Bruce Weber has to feel decent giving up 54 and only being down by 3.
Evans and Forte also have a 3.
They've got to do a better job, obviously, of guarding the ball, because when the ball comes into the lane, they're really running at the basketball, and Oklahoma State does a very good job of not only driving and kicking on the baseline, but back out to the top, and that's where Hammonds has made them pay. Get a couple from the top of the key, but Kansas State, I think, can exploit Oklahoma State's lack of good interior defense by going inside to DJ Johnson.
Both teams come out with their original starting 5. Jawan Evans does have the 2 fouls. He sat for the latter half of that first half for Oklahoma State. There's Mitchell Solomon coming off a career-high 16 against Kansas. And the rebound to DJ Johnson.
It's a pretty good post move, but Solomon's got to get a little bit deeper post position if he's going to make that move.
Foul Stokes to Dean Wade, lines up a three, and we're tied at 54.
That's great awareness by K-State as well, and both these teams really clicking on the offensive end with teamwork, passing, knocking down shots.
Out of control, Evans. It'll stay with Oklahoma State. You just saw that graphic. In the second half of Big 12 games, Wildcat opponents shooting almost 57% from the field.
Oh, Bruce Weber made that very known to us today. We've got to do a better job in second halves. He said, I have to trust my bench as well. I think we've been worn out at the end of games.
Evans off balance. He's got 16.
You've seen it all. He's got an array of different moves, and tonight he is showing you all of his game.
Stokes from the elbow, misfires. Off the screen from Solomon, who gets it back on the pick and roll. Executed to perfection.
Mitchell Solomon can give him some inside scoring. Oklahoma State is going to be a very dangerous team.
2 of their 3 losses coming to teams ranked in the top 3 at the time. Also a road loss to Texas Tech. And Bruce Weber telling us today that emotionally a lot of those tough losses didn't wear on the psyche of the team as Johnson blocks Solomon, but they've got to play through it.
Well, they look like they're fine tonight. They really do. They're moving the ball nice. They're sharing it. They're attacking. Their issues have been on the defensive end of the floor, which has been the problem in the Big 12. But they've got a lot of weapons offensively.
Arundu battling for position, and a foul on Oklahoma State. And that is 3 on Jawan Evans. He will stay on the floor.
He'll stay on the floor, and Oklahoma State on that baseline out of bounds, trying to protect Evans, possibly going through some zone.
.15 to shoot. Open 3 for Barry Brown. Wade the offensive rebound. And he goes up strong for 2. It's a 2-point game.
Well, again, I think that's where Kansas State can take advantage. They have a big advantage inside with their 2 scorers, Wade and Johnson. They've got to make sure they get them involved and give them a look. Put pressure on Oklahoma State to defend at the rim.
They had some early success with Johnson, especially. Here's Evans playing with the 3 foul. Step back jumper, no good. And they get Carroll with the foul. Second team foul.
Wade usually parks himself out on the perimeter. He's got that nice face-up jumper. He's a good passer, but wait a minute. Wait. I was going to make a pass back out, but if you're not going to defend me, thank you very much.
And Bruce Weber probably wants Wade to have that mentality to go to the rim first.
He does. He usually sets him up at the high post. They play that high-low game with he and Johnson, but they can go inside. I think Hammonds is just an average defender. He fouls out a lot, so put some pressure on him.
Catch and release. Barry Brown for 3. First lead for Kansas State since it was 24-23.
Yeah, good early timeout by Bruce Weber, settling down his club. Now they're on the attack.
Off the turnover, Brown. (59-58). Here's Lindy Waters. A lot of contact, no whistle. Now they get a foul. It's on Wesley Arundu, his first.
Lindy Waters got bailed out on that one. He just dribbled into trouble, fell down, and Kansas State fell on top of him.
Waters, a good-looking freshman from Norman. Missed 3 games with the neck injury and a slight concussion. Came back against Kansas over the weekend. Solomon in the post. And another foul. It's on Dean Wade, his first. Thursday on ESPN, 25th ranked Maryland goes to Iowa City to take on the Hawkeyes. Terps seeking a fourth straight win. Then at 9 Eastern, Clemson tries to snap a 4-game losing streak here at Louisville. Forte, the corner three. And the Cowboys now 10 for 15 from beyond the arc.
Well, that's one of his spots. Anything deep, long, Kansas State lost Forte on that one.
Wade the offensive rebound. Brown tries a three. Deposit slip, please. He's got 17. And Forte fouled on the drain.
Well,
do you remember who the leading scorer was?
No. The only thing I remember about Oklahoma State, in my memory, is the great teams Eddie Sutton had that would just get up and punch you in the stomach defensively. They were not fun to coach against.
A traveling violation. Following our game, we get to see Markelle Fultz, one of the best point guards in the country, leading Washington against Colorado. 1 point lead for Kansas State as we come up on 15 minutes to play in the second half. Down low, Corby Irvin for the bucket. It's a 3-point lead for the Wildcats.
Oklahoma State has to clean up that those defensive lapses were just one ball reversal and a drive and a wide open weak side offensive player for K-State.
Forte wiggles out of the trap. Jawan Evans on the bench with 3 fouls. Brandon Averett into the game at point guard. Solomon to the basket. Form before function or function before form. How does it go?
Well, lesson well learned, though. He had that play a week ago in the Iowa State game and just kind of tried to feather it up on the rim, and Brad Underwood took him out of the game and said, "Dunk that." He almost dunked it, but he finished it anyway.
Form follows function. There it is. Leading in, Owundu.
Well, this game will not go into the archives as any defensive masterpieces. But the thing about both teams, though, they put a lot of pressure on you. They have good floor spacing. Look at the ball movement. Oklahoma State never touches the floor. Then they attack when the ball reverses. That time, Kansas State, good job on the closeout.
Solomon hands off to Forte. Less than 10 to shoot. Forte kicks to the corner. McGriff the three. And the offensive rebound to Carroll. Forte, shot fake. And it swirls in. We're tied at 66.
Yes, Anish, there is a such thing as a shooter's roll. Especially a little pump fake from downtown.
How many bouncers has Oklahoma State gotten tonight? As Johnson with great position has a chance for a three-point play.
I think they can get that almost every time they want to get it if they take their time and they're patient and look to Johnson inside and run some high-low game. But obviously, Phil Forte is a guy that you have to not only close out on, but close out under control. You see Stokes, he just runs at him. A little pump fake and some emotion from Phil Forte.
So unofficially, 2 Leighton Hammond's threes. Got a high bounce off the rim and fell in. Forte had that one swirl in. And Carroll had one from the corner with a nice bounce. So that's 4.
There's no doubt about it that the rims are very, very nice and loose for Oklahoma State.
3-point play for Johnson. It's a 3-point lead for the visitors. There's Evans back into the game. He's got 3 fouls. Saves this one from going out of bounds. Hammonds collides in the air with Wade. And a foul is called on Dean Wade. His second. 4th team foul on Kansas State.
Dean Wade's a nice looking player, as we've talked about. Oklahoma State's done a pretty good job, though, of getting up in him on the outside because he can knock down shots.
Evans, fancy dribbling. Now McGriff leaning in. Owundu controls the board.
Not a good shot by McGriff. Just a little too quick, a little wild, and out of control.
Wade nearly lost it. Great pass out of the double team to Maurice.
Well, if you're going to double, you're going to trap down low. You have to rotate on the backside.
He's a head coach. They've been close a few times. The last 4 games, they were all within a possession entering the last 5 minutes, but just could not close. And we've heard Coach Underwood say his team is close. They need to get that win. He thinks they're ready to explode. Kansas State leading by 5. Here's Carroll. Eight to shoot. Evans for 3. And a battle for the rebound, and they get a foul on Carroll. And for Jeffrey Carroll, that's his 3rd. So 3 on Carroll and 3 on Evans. 2 of the top 4 scorers in the Big 12.
Well, Oklahoma State has lost a little bit of their flow on the offensive end. Give K-State credit. They've had issues in the second half of Big 12 games defensively, but they've done a very good job of tightening things up. And now Oak State trying to change the rhythm of K-State going zone on this possession.
10 on the shot clock. Wade puts it on the floor. And he's able to draw the foul, the 5th team foul on Oklahoma State.
Well, that's just way too easy. And on the closeout, Leighton Hammonds just let Dean Wade just go off the bounce. I mean, he's a right-handed player and just closes him out. He's on his left shoulder, just opens the door for him to get all the way to the rim. And right now, Oak State has major problems on the defensive end of the floor. That K-State is getting anything they want.
Foul was on Davon Dillard, his 3rd. Wade came into the game shooting 60% from the field in Big 12 play. Just under 70% from the line. A sophomore from St. John, Kansas. Had 20 points against the Jayhawks earlier this month, but only 5 over the weekend in the loss to Baylor. Misses both free throws here. Evans and Carroll both on the floor with 3 fouls. Here's Hammonds. Kansas State in a zone. Into the corner. Forte, the 3, not there. Carroll chases it down. Evans down the middle. Kicks to the baseline. No good. Dillard. Hammonds the offensive rebound. He's doubled. And they get a foul underneath.
You attack that if you're K-State. I think if you're K-State, you just keep doing what you're doing. You get 71 points with 11:52 to go. So you're doing the right thing on the offensive end of the floor. You don't want to just stand around and attack. You've got to just keep running your stuff and try to control that guy.
18 now for Jawan Evans. Foul trouble for Kansas State. Meanwhile, Dean Wade has 3. Irvin shot not there as he lost his balance. And Oklahoma State can tie with a 3. They're 11 for 18 from downtown. Evans the runner. Offensive rebound. Hammonds out of bounds to K-State. Sports Center at night with SVP. That's after Thunder and Warriors. Highlights from the Australian Open, the NHL, college basketball, NBA, NFL news, and also recapping what happened in baseball. Jeff Bagwell, Tim Raines, and Ivan Rodriguez all getting the call to the Hall. Stokes puts it on the floor, kicks it back to Sneed. Into the corner, Owundu the 3, got it. He's really worked on his outside shot.
He has, and K-State very patient on that possession. Just made that extra pass, waited until Oklahoma State made a mistake. Owundu made a pay.
10 to shoot. Carroll through traffic, too strong. And we've got a foul underneath, a blocking foul on Kansas State.
K-State, they just waited and waited until they beat Oklahoma State off the bounce, and a little bit of over-helping here, just driving in, and nobody runs out to Awandu. Just too late. You must help from the inside out, not the outside in.
The foul was on Sneed, his third. K-State's 6-point lead, the largest of the game for the Wildcats, as Carroll will shoot 2 free throws, a 71% free throw shooter. There was some blood on Leighton Hammond's jersey, so he'll come out of the game. Jeffrey Carroll came into this game shooting 58% from the field. That was the highest percentage for a Big 12 guard. He's been very efficient. 43% from 3. Almost 17 points per game, 7 rebounds. And for the early part of the season, Tim, he was coming off the bench and really provided that spark for Brad Underwood's team.
And again, I think I'm not sure his teammates understand how valuable he is at times, because he will go periods of time during the game where they don't go through him, and they need to go through him a little bit more. I mean, not just run their offense every time to Jeffrey Carroll, but make sure that he's getting some looks to put pressure on the defense.
He's got 17 and 7 tonight, right on his season average. Midway through this second half, 4-point lead for Kansas State. Turnaround jumper for Sneed is there.
Oklahoma State was in a 3-2 zone, but as soon as the ball changed sides of the floor, they just flashed up to that mid elbow area, wide open.
How about the finish by Dillard off the terrific spin and dish by Evans?
It's just an athletic move. That's why they like Dillard.
Off the hands of Johnson. Here come the Cowboys. Carroll's pass stolen. Not there for Brown. Out of bounds to Oklahoma State.
Davon Dillard just found the seam in the middle of the defense. He all started with Jawan Evans. And whoa, that was up and down quickly.
You might see that again on Sports Center. Dillard's pass tipped. It comes to Johnson. Tempo-wise, the second half has been more to the liking of Kansas State.
There's no doubt about it. And they've taken their time, and they're understanding that they're finding some weak spots in the defense. That time, Johnson got caught.
Second foul on Johnson. One more look at the dunk.
That was like being in the gym alone at Dillard. But a good presence of mind, though, to read the defenses. Everybody kind of turned into Evans, and he just found that seam on the backside.
7 team fouls on the Wildcats, so Oklahoma State in the bonus with 8:35 to go in regulation. Carroll thought about the lob to Dillard instead. It's Solomon misfiring from 15. Dillard saves it. Forte, drive, kick. Forte, the lob to Dillard. On the inside, and Davon Dillard with back-to-back field goals for the Cowboys.
Good unselfish play by Phil Forte, and read the defense, and he felt the pressure on the top. He knew there was some openings underneath, and he trusted Dillard to finish.
Stokes down the lane, off the window, and kisses it home.
There's a lot of open shots in this game. There's no doubt about that.
Evans out of control. It comes to the Wildcats, who've got a 4-point lead.
First to 100 may punch the ticket tonight.
Stokes drives, dishes, Sneed from the wing. And the rebound, it's to Dillard. Evans has it taken away. No foul. He wanted a whistle. Johnson was wide open. Errant pass. It comes back to Snead. And Kansas State able to salvage the possession. In the half-court set, they've been successful going to Johnson.
Well, they can get it involved. They can get him involved. But right now, they're trying to beat Oklahoma State off the dribble. And they space the floor. They can get what they want.
With the shot clock winding down, Owundu is off. Cowboys down by 4. Coming up on 6.5 to play.
Both teams a little gassed right now, looking for that under 8 timeout.
And they'll get it as Dillard travels.
Long way from lovely St. Pete to the Little Apple, but he is flourishing in this system of Bruce Weber's.
That is not a direct flight. Owundu to bring it up for Kansas State. Down low to Snead, who's been the best bench scoring option for Bruce Weber.
Oh, good play called from the bench, but Snead couldn't finish. Looked like he lost his balance or got pushed in the back.
Oklahoma State turns it over, and this is a crucial stretch for the Cowboys right now with both Evans and Carroll on the bench.
Well, they've got to take their time as well, and get Phil Forte a little bit more involved and not go through Mitchell Solomon as their playmaker.
Yeah, got to take care of the ball as well. Wade nearly had it taken away by Forte. Here's Brown. Nearly lost it. And the rebound is tipped to Averett. He's got Jets.
Good job on that possession. Oklahoma State taking away that penetration by Barry Brown.
Foul away from the ball on Kansas State. That's on Kamau Stokes, his second. And that's the 8th team foul, so Oklahoma State to the line for a 1-and-1.
Well, the last couple minutes, Oklahoma State has tightened up the reins on the defensive end of the floor. They've been more solid, playing just extended man-to-man, but not gambling. Pretty good containment in the half court off the bounce. Good help as well.
Lindy Waters misses the free throw. Stokes leaves it for Johnson, who finishes.
Well, again, that was dribble penetration and then no rotation on the backside by Oklahoma State's defense.
6-point lead matches the largest of the game for the Wildcats. Johnson comes all the way out to guard Hammonds. Waters for 3. Off the back rim. Solomon hit the deck. And we've got a foul. And if that's on Wade, it's his 4th. It is on Wade, and that is 4 on Dean Wade.
Well, Oklahoma State has to make sure they are solid in the half court, and defensively here they don't do a good job on Kamau Stokes, and he just finds DJ Johnson on the backside on just good recognition and no rotation.
Johnson's got 15. He's 6 for 7 from the field. Came into the game leading the conference in field goal percentage. Front end is good by Solomon. Next team foul, Tim, will put Oklahoma State in the double bonus.
Jeffrey Carroll back in the game, and wonder how long that Brad Underwood will give Juwan Evans.
Evans has 3 fouls, as does Carroll. It's a 4-point game. Less than 5 minutes to go in regulation. Brown picks up his dribble. On the floor with Stokes, Snead, Johnson, And a 1-2. And a foul. On Oklahoma State, it's on Averett, his second, 6th team foul.
Well, they're really overplaying out on the perimeter and denying right out the half court. And Oklahoma State, that's their style, but you've got to be careful here. Kansas State has been strong with
play. Under 14 points per game, shooting a shade under 30%, turning it over 4 times per game, but he's been terrific tonight. 18 points, 7 assists, and only 2 turnovers. He remains on the bench. Averett stays in. Carroll is in the game, along with Forte, Hammonds, and Solomon. Kansas State spreads the floor. Stokes down the lane, kicks to Brown. Barry Brown gets the roll, and it's a 6-point lead for the Wildcats.
Well, again, that was created by Kamal Stokes' ability just to dribble drive into the gap, drew the defenders, kicked it back out, and Oklahoma State not closing out under control.
Evans at the scores table. Forte kicks to Hammonds. He had a big first half. Less than 10 to shoot. Averett spinning. Forte, 3 seconds. Forte to the basket, and he's able to draw the foul, and he is almost automatic from the free throw line. Oklahoma State would like a W. 0-5 in conference play. Kansas State, too. They're 2-3 in league play. They've lost 3 out of 4, and both of these teams have been in so many close games of late. And the result just has not gone the way of either of these teams. Here we are, a 2-possession game. Less than 4 minutes to play. Phil Forte, a 96% free throw shooter, knocks down the first.
Well, that was a nice move at the end of the clock by Phil Forte. He didn't rush his shot, and understanding that the clock was running down, they closed out on him hard. He just put the ball on the floor, but oh goodness, a miss.
Hold up. Phil Forte just missed a free throw. Somehow that's going to be my fault or your fault. Shot clock at 5. A 1-2. Free throw line extended, banks it in. Largest lead of the game for the Wildcats.
Well, that ever-improving stroke from Wesley Iwundu, you could see just that ability, took his time, under control, very confident.
Jawan Evans back in the game. The offense stagnated without him. Gets the screen from Solomon.
A lot of standing by Oak State.
Forte down the lane through the contact. No foul. Offensive rebound and put back by Solomon. Knocked out of bounds. Off of Kansas State. Oklahoma State ball. How about the hustle by the 5th-year senior?
Well, Phil Forte 2 years ago was on fire early, one of the leaders in the nation in steals, and Phil Forte just gets fouled, I believe. There's contact at the rim, but Solomon does a good job of just throwing his body around inside, but Forte sticking with the play.
Evans has 18 points and 7 assists. And they got an illegal screen on Mitchell Solomon, his second foul.
Well, that's the problem. You set those running ball screens. You must stop and establish position. And that time, Solomon just continued on into the defender, and unnecessary.
7th team foul on Oklahoma State. So Kansas State in the bonus. Cowboys in the double bonus. Dean Wade playing with 4 fouls. A 1-2 baseline, leaves it for Johnson. His shot altered, he gets it back, and 1.
DJ Johnson, I thought he got clubbed on the first attempt, but he stayed with it. You just see him The great hands, keeps the ball up high, and very good job of just rolling to the basket, staying with the play, using that power and explosive.
$18 now for Johnson, his 5th straight game where he scored in double figures. Largest lead for K-State. Evans for 3. No bounce that time.
Definitely, K-State has done a much better job here in the second half of not only defending in the half court, but running good half court offense, taking advantage of the power inside of DJ Johnson.
Six to shoot. Owandu picks up his dribble. Brown, the long 3. Got it! Barry Brown with a career-high 22.
Oh, that is finding the open man and composure by Barry Brown.
Evans lost it. Up ahead to Stokes. Hammonds the rebound and turns it over. And now a whistle. Stokes is down. Bruce Weber, you need a big shot late in the game. Who do you turn to? He really didn't have an answer for us, but he said he had a number of guys he would trust, and tonight it's been Barry Brown.
It has been Barry Brown, and on the inbounds play, just K-State a little loose with the basketball. Looked like Brown had it and got flat out clipped at the top, but no call.
Jawan Evans on the bench. And they got a foul on Sneed, who tried to poke it away from Carroll. So 2 free throws coming for Oklahoma State. K-State leads the all-time series, but they have not had much success in Stillwater. In fact, the Wildcats entered this game having not won at Gallagher-Iba in more than 5 years. These two played 3 times last year. The home team won both regular season meetings, and then Kansas State knocked out Oklahoma State in round 1 of the Big 12 tournament. And that was the last game that Travis Ford coached for the Cowboys. 12-20 season. And Brad Underwood was brought in. 9-point game, 1:11 to go. K-State breaks the press with ease. Owandu, the lob for Johnson off the backboard. And here comes Oklahoma State in the final minute. Carroll lines up the 3. And it's a 2-possession game with 55 seconds. They've been better from 3 than they have been inside the arc. Kansas State has to call a timeout. They could not get it in on the floor. Who are you trying to get the ball to if you're Kansas State?
Oh, definitely Barry Brown, and then try to get it back to Owandu.
Brown could not get open. It comes to Irvin. He's in trouble. Gets it up to Wade, who clears. And we'll say over and back.
Well, first of all, Kansas State, if they looked up the floor, DJ Johnson was wide open standing underneath the rim. And obviously, you have to use your time and score, but if someone's wide open, you take the layup.
Now, we're going to have to see that one again. Got one look at it. You have to establish position, and that may have been the issue there, as the shot by Evans is no good, rebounded by Owandu, and he's fouled. Let's see if we can get maybe another look at that last turnover.
Well, Evans got all the way to the basket and got to the rim, but he's kind of rushed his shot. I guess they don't Wesley Iwundu leaves the...
Well, Wade jumped from the backcourt to the front court, and he caught the ball in midair. He didn't establish position, so that's a good call by the officials.
It was a good call by Patrick Adams. There's no doubt about it. But now Kansas State settled down on that last possession, and Iwundu did a good job of just securing the rebound and being strong.
Kansas State as a team under 70% from the free throw line. Iwundu hits them both. 8-point game, 3-possession game. Here comes Evans. Less than 40 seconds to play. Forte open for 3. No good. Rebounded by Irvin. There's the outlet to Sneed, and he throws it down.
Well, that's been there last couple times, and that time K-State did a good job of looking ahead.
Forte falling away. Put back is there by Carroll. 8-point game, 14.9 seconds to go. The home run pass, and Sneed with the exclamation.
Kansas State is really taking advantage now, being aggressive, strong, finishing at the other end.
Evans uncontested, but that's just bookkeeping. Oklahoma State falls to 0-6 in the Big 12. Kansas State snaps its modest 2-game losing streak. Bruce Weber